Welcome back to Green Island. I'm always a little bit sad in June after the bluebells, the azaleas and the rhododendrons have gone. The riot of colour that May is, and I'm just a little bit sad at the passing of that. And then I look around the garden and I see what else is to come afterwards. And one of my favourite shrubs that follows on beautifully from those is this. Mountain laurel it's called, or calico-bush, or spoonwood, or the proper Latin name for it is Kalmia latifolia. It's a beautiful evergreen shrub and it's not grown very often, which is a bit of a shame because I think it's an excellent choice. Lovely shiny green leaves, new growth is attractive, and then these huge clusters of up to 100 flowers arrive in June. And the buds in themselves are really, really pretty. They almost remind me of those ice gem little biscuits we used to get when we were children, showing my age there a little bit. But the buds are often a darker colour, and then as these flowers open, they're the most beautiful detailed markings inside them. Really pretty, speckled, almost like an octagonal shaped, cup-shaped flower, and the heads of masses of them. You get the contrast with the buds and the open flowers at the same time, which is really pretty as well. They're native in Northern America and Canada, mostly America, this variety, but they're now grown well in all sorts of locations around the world. But the best location or spot for them really is a moist, well-drained, acidic soil. I think in part shade, although they will thrive in full sun as well if they've got enough moisture. They can also be grown in pots. This one, latifolia, Kalmia latifolia, will grow to quite a size eventually. Not quickly, but eventually it could make a shrub of size up to 3 meters by 3 meters. But this one's been here now for about 10 years, so it still hasn't outgrown its space. And they do respond really well to cutting back as well if you've got limited space for them. And in that way they can be grown as a hedge if you want as well. There are lots of other cultivars now that have been bred, and they've got the most exquisite patterns and detailing in the plants, so we'll show you some of those in a moment. There are about 9 different species of Kalmias, most of them found in America and Canada, but most of the cultivars that are available nowadays are these from Kalmia latifolia. Just round the corner from Kalmia latifolia we just looked at, we've got this one here, which is Kalmia latifolia carousel, one of my favourite hybrids. And this one has done particularly well in this position. It is semi-shaded, it only gets a bit of sun in the morning here. The buds on it are similar to latifolia in the pink buds, like ice gems, and then opening to these beautiful, exquisitely patterned flowers, clusters of them, with this beautiful wine red marking around them and speckles in the centre. Slightly smaller leaves on this variety, and this one has been here now, I would say, for getting on for 20 years. So it's a very well behaved shrub. It's not going to outgrow its space at all. This is another really lovely cultivar, Kalmia latifolia pink charm it's called. And because they're so tricky to grow, and I failed with several when we first moved to Green Island, I originally grew this one in a pot on the terrace, and it flowered beautifully there for years, but it did just get to the point where it was too big for the pot. So we moved it and planted it out here a few years ago, and it has taken a few years to settle in and get going, but now it has, and boy, does it brighten up this area after the azaleas and rhodies have gone. Beautiful bright pink buds just bursting to these beautiful delicate flowers. This is another lovely cultivar, Kalmia latifolia lachmin. It's only been planted here for a couple of years and it really, really loves this spot. It gets partial shade, so it gets sun in the morning and then the rest of the day it's shaded. And this particular spot here is an area where we cleared rhododendrons away, and there's been a lot of humus and compost built up in the soil. So it absolutely loves this spot. The flowers are really, really dark on here. It's almost like a purpley, deep, deep red. and opening up to absolutely masses of enormous flowers. So the whole shrub looks like a mass of heads of flowers at the moment, but lovely healthy growth coming too. So I think this is going to be a superb specimen. This is another Kalmia latifolia we planted a year and a half ago in this new bed here. If I rummage around in the leaves at the bottom, I can find the remnants of the label. And I don't know if you can see, it says peppermint at the bottom. It was bought labelled as Kalmia latifolia peppermint, which is a beautiful specimen which has lovely open white flowers with really delicate pale pink markings on it. You can see this is clearly not the named variety. This is a common problem in the nursery trade, and this, I won't name and shame them, was bought from a very reputable nursery. And this can be a problem if you buy things mail order. You buy the plant, it arrives looking healthy, you plant it, and then you may have to wait for up to a couple of years for it to start flowering, which is what happened with this one. And then by the time you realise it's not the right variety, it's too late to take it back and complain. So I would suggest if you want a particular variety, cultivar, buy it when it's in flower. That's the best thing to do. So I've shown you all our Kalmia latifolia cultivars. There are other species I mentioned. Another lovely one that is available is Kalmia angustifolia, which is a much smaller, more spreading shrub, and it has pale pink flowers with dark maroon markings on it. Very, very pretty shrub. Makes a much smaller specimen, maybe only up to about 3 feet by 3 feet, so suitable for a small garden. But any of these Kalmias are relatively slow growing, and if you've got the right conditions, if your garden can grow azaleas, rhododendrons, acers, camellias, then why not give a Kalmia a go as well, because it helps to bridge that gap after the rhodies and camellias have all finished flowering. Once again, thank you very much for watching our video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe. And remember also that we do offer some mail order service, and we do have some Kalmias in stock.